Hey folks, JSAT here. Welcome to the first on the Vermintide 2 Today I Learned series. In this series, I'm going to introduce a series of mechanics. I'm going to illustrate those mechanics enough that you understand them, and then I'm going to show how to use those mechanics to put together tactics and strategies that will make you much more effective in Vermintide. Today, the focus is on movement. I think movement is the fundamental of this game. On the surface, the movement system in this game is simple, but it turns out there's a lot of mechanical complexity. Vermintide 2, much like Vermintide 1, the developers opted to make the game feel good rather than to make it easily explainable. I like that in some ways because it means it turns out there's a bunch of little tricks and a little nuances, so you can continue to improve and get to such a high level that you, by putting little things together and getting better at little tiny things, you can have like revolutionary increases in effectiveness. And that's really attractive to me. As somebody who likes to min-max and get really good at things, that's really attractive to me. Alright, let's just dive right in. Your basic movement running speed is 4 arbitrary units per second in this game. That is slower than even the slowest of the enemies you'll face, which is the Slave Rat. Let's see, their base movement speed is a 4.5. The Chaos Trash, the Fanatic, is a 4.8. The Elites are things like 4.7, and some things are even over 5. And even if you stack 10% movement speed, 5% on this slot and 5% for your career skill, it's going to be, you'll be more effective at kiting, but it's not going to be you can run circles around things. That's not how you effectively kite in this game. Okay, one more note on running. Running backwards is slightly slower than running to the side or forward, but side is the same as forward. Duck. There's only 2 little notes about duck. First of all, in order to duck, if you duck and then dodge, you remain in the duck state for the entirety of your dodge. Quite useful to go under little obstacles you need to, for example, on Empire in Flames. One other thing is the hitbox, the pickup radius is a sphere centered on the center of the hero. So things beneath you are actually slightly further away for you. So what you can do, for this bomb right here, this is a good example. It's low, right? You can actually pick it up. I can't pick it up by just standing, right? But if I decrease my radius, if I bring it closer to the earth, I can pick it up slightly further away. Similarly, the enemies have a column hitbox for the most part. It's more complex than that, but basically a column. So you can get slightly increased range by ducking. So if you have a nice big cleave, it might be useful to duck. You'll see me use that in combat occasionally. What else? A ton to say about jump. So first of all, the basic thing is when you're in the air while you're jumping, if you hit no WASD, the jump will continue in exactly the same way, the same horizontal velocity that you had before you did it. However, if you hit WASD in the air, you will air accelerate. It will pay attention to negative move speed modifiers. For example, going backwards is a negative move speed modifier, right? So if I jump, turn, and move backwards, I run backwards in the air, I'm actually going to go less far than I would have otherwise. So if I wanted to make that a move, if I wanted to jump, continue to fly through the air, turn and shoot something, I should jump and not hit WASD in midair, as such. Okay, most of your attacks have a negative move speed modifier associated. Your push has a negative move speed modifier associated. So if you do any of those things in the air, you will go less far. What else? There's also an ability to turn in the air. The jumping is a lot like Halo. So if you wanted to get like over here and there was some obstacle in the way, you could jump. You would turn your crosshair so you can hit W, and you will turn that way. But you also air strafe at the same time. So if you wanted to jump and turn to the right, you should hit W and D in the air while turning to look the way you want, kind of like air strafing in Quake, for example. Is there anything else of import to say to this? Jumping. So in jump in this game, it's a nice parabola, right? You go up and then you come back down. So if you want to get on something that you can just barely get onto, you don't want to walk up to it and then jump. Look at all this wasted time. Instead, you should jump when you're the optimal distance away such that you hit the obstacle at the apex of your jump. And now you don't waste any time. Very important. Anything else? We'll come to it if we do. Let's talk about weapons. The way Vermintide has the different feel, the weapons feel so different. A lot of it is actually associated with movement while you're attacking. So a really good example of this is the two-handed hammer, which just has such a great viscerally meaty feel to it. A lot of it has to do with this. Watch. Slow, 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 fast. Slow, 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 fast. Right? It makes it feel heavy because you're going slow. But it's not just one move speed modifier. It's not just, well, you're attacking with this weapon, you get a 0.6 move speed modifier. No. You have a move speed modifier at the beginning that's slow, and then fastness at the end. It's not just one number. However, there is just one number associated with blocking. And you have a slight, just doing this, chain pushing, that's a block walking, right? Block walking is slow. Push walking is not much slower than just running. Just a note. Okay. What else? If the animation ends, the residual move speed modifier, look, there's a residual move speed modifier, goes away. So if I do this and then quick switch at the end of it, I will ignore a big part of the animation. I animation canceled it with a Q cancel, and I walked away at a faster speed. It makes the weapons much more flexible with a little bit of optimization. So for example, I use that with glaive all the time. At the end of attack 2, charge 2, there's a move speed modifier that's negative. I Q to get out of it. So I charge attack into a Q. And I can do a charge attack into a Q cancel to get my weapon back out faster to do another melee swing without the residual move slow. If I wanted to maximize damage, I would just do charge 2 into light 3, but if I wanted to maximize movement, I would Q cancel at the end of it. Alright, just a little optimization. Let's hop into talking about the most important movement mechanic, dodge. So before we do that, I've got bad news for all of you who didn't do this by default. You're going to have to change your hotkeys if you want to get the most out of this game. You need to have dodge and jump on 2 different keys. If I could do it again, I would have put dodge on space and jump on shift, as opposed to I have here, because dodge is more important than jump. However, this is fine. I also use auto hotkeys so I can have duplicates for the same keys, because it's so important to be able to do all 4 WASD keys and dodge and vent, right, and reload at the same time. Okay, let's talk about dodge. Dodge ignores all move speed modifiers except for 2 that I can think of. Being way overcharged with Sienna continues to have a negative move speed modifier, and it's slow applied to you by a debuff, like the Troll's Vomit. It will continue to go through dodge. Everything else it ignores. So anytime an enemy hits you, there's a temporary 50% reduction to your move speed, a 0.5 move speed modifier. And if you get hit again, it's another 5. Now you're down to 0.25. And now you do it again, you should do it down to 0.125, but no, there's a hard cap. It'll get you down to 0.2. Within 1 second, you'll get back to your full move speed modifier. Okay, that's how that mechanic works. The net result of this, though, is if you take damage, you're like, oh crap, now I'm slow, and I'm trying to get away from all this stuff, and now I'm walking slow, and now another thing's going to hit me, and now I'm screwed. Instead, you get hit once, turn, and dodge away from them. It'll ignore the move speed modifier, it gives time for your move speed to come back, it gets you a distance. What else? While you're dodging, enemies will not continue to try to track and hit you. It is not an iframe, you're not invulnerable. So if you try to dodge through the ogre's big overhead pound or something, or the gas rat's attack, nope, SOL, you're going to get hit. But if you try to dodge, like the Storm Vermin's right here, and try to overhead cleave you, you can sidestep out of the way, he'll hit right here, now you're good. That's why dodge makes you safe. In addition to the movement stuff we just talked about. It also ignores positive move speed modifiers, so Speed Potion is not going to make your dodge any better. Likewise with jumping, by the way. I missed this point. Jumping ignores Speed Potion. What else? So, dodge. Not every weapon dodges the same. Let us start by looking at I like to classify them into 3 groups. Slow, medium, and fast are high dodgers. There's a chart at the end. There'll be a number of resources I'll link below, and you can come to the Discord and find more recent versions of them. Go peruse at your leisure. But okay, here's a slow dodger. Not much, right? Not much. Let's do it over here so it's really clear. To here. Additionally, in addition to the move speed and the dodge speed and distance, you have what's called the effective dodge count, which dictates how many dodges you can do in a row at peak efficiency. What we just saw right there. The efficient dodge count for the two-handed hammer is 1. So not only is it a slow move dodge and low distance, it also only can do 1 in a row. So if I have an effective dodge count of n, the nth dodge, 1 through n is okay, is perfect. N plus 1 is okay. N plus 2 sucks. So my second dodge will be okay. My third dodge will, of course, utterly stink. It'll go nowhere. After I wait just a little bit of time, my dodge is back. The rate at which you can dodge, how fast, how frequently you can dodge, is somewhat dictated by your efficient dodge count. Higher efficient dodge count, higher dodge frequency, and the rate at which your efficient dodge count refreshes is also dictated by the number of efficient dodges you have. So a high number of efficient dodges dodge more frequently, and it refreshes faster. So this weapon's got a lot less mobility than, for example, a medium dodger, like the glaive. The glaive is a solid example of a medium dodger. Let's see how many dodge counts they have. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fourth dodge is okay. So I would say the first 3 are perfect, the fourth was okay, so therefore an efficient dodge count of 3. And look at that distance. Quite good. Quite good. Probably like 1.1, 1.2. Whereas the two-handed hammer is like a 0.85 dodge distance. And remember, those numbers are units. Your base move speed, what was it, 4? 4. 4. Okay. What else? Dodge. Let's talk a little bit about how to put these things together. Let's talk about a little bit how to put these things together. So, since dodge ignores negative move speed modifiers, you can use it to keep yourself safe and mobile while doing things that would otherwise keep you rooted to the ground. So venting is one of my most important examples, but reload is another one. Venting, you are quite slow. Look at this. But I have my hotkeys set up in such a way that I can hit full WASD while venting and dodge. The way I do this is use auto hotkey, so I can have caps lock do my reload, like that, and I have mouse wheel down for dodge. So let's try to give it a shot. Remember, here's just venting. I stink. Now, great mobility. Where else do you use dodge? Let's say you want to get a grenade off, but you're under pressure, and there's stuff right in front of you. Oh man, I have to take off my melee weapon and bring out my grenade. I'm going to be vulnerable. So why don't I dodge as I take it out, dodge again as I throw it out, and then switch back to my melee weapon. Using dodge to get off your ultimate, get off your push, get off a bomb, potion, any of those things, really highly effective. Alright, now that we've reviewed the most essential movement-related mechanics, let's put them together into simple Swiss Army knife techniques that you can use all the time. So one of the most important ones is using dodge, which ignores move speed modifiers, positive and negative, to cover up the weak, slow parts of a charged attack with some of your weapons. So, for example, take the two-handed hammer, which is notoriously slow during the windup. Was overcome that by dodging through the slow part and then letting the fast part happen. Much more fluid. Much safer as well, because during this wind-up period, if you get hit, you lose the attack. So cover those two things together. For glaive, it's much the same. So we're gonna dodge into charge 1, and we're gonna queue out of dodge 2. Out of charge 2. Much more fluid. Your movement will be much more fluid the whole time. So if you have stuff over here following you, but you want to get a charge attack off in a Chaos Warrior ahead of you, that's how you could get it, with almost certainly not getting hit behind and continuing to push through. What else? Other little things we can do about combining attack move speeds and dodge move speed. Now, chain attack of spear is actually faster than just walking. You can actually walk away from hordes with this. However, notice that this charge attack yet again has a slow period at the end. So why don't we cover that up with a dodge in the middle? Mechanically more complex, but if you pull it off, slightly more powerful, slightly safer. In fact, dodge itself has a slow period. Watch. Start fast and slow. Start fast and slow. What can we do? You can't cancel it with the Q cancel like you can with attacks. You can cancel it with the jump. So, this is the dodge jump. First, let's see how many effective dodges we have with spear. Okay, we have 4. We have 4 good dodges and a fifth one. So sometime around dodge 3, dodge 4, we might consider, during the slow portion at the end of this, jumping and turning, using our air acceleration to nice speed in the air, You can do this with medium plus dodgers to run away from hordes safely, but you have to execute it flawlessly, and you have to be careful about the line you take. More of this when we talk about kiting. Another use of the dodge jump is getting onto ladders. So say that you're under pressure from a horde following you, and you want to get up to this next level to perhaps funnel the horde. You're dodging, there's this ladder. If I just walk up to it and hit it, I'm going to get mobbed. If I just run up and jump to it, they're going to catch me and mob me. However, if you dodge jump onto it, oop, not like that, dodge jump onto it, and look up so you immediately start climbing the second you get onto it, you almost certainly won't get hit unless there's a cleave coming through at the same time. Why? Because you were in the dodge state. They didn't start tracking you, and then you're on the ladder. They don't start tracking you. The dodge jump on ladder trick is fundamental. So there you have it. Those are the most essential mechanics and techniques related to movement. I'm going to show you how to put those together into performing kiting in most any situation and more mobile style of combat in the next video. And then from there we'll progress on to combat mechanics and tactics, and then we'll get more strategic from there. If you have more questions relating to these mechanics, please put them below or discuss with me on the Discord. The Discord is in the details under the video. Beyond that, I hope this was useful, and I will see you guys soon.